You know this Blue Nose Pit versus a Hujo shit. He'll grab your arms, do 2-hold twists, then throw you over the shoulder like a judo flip. Magomed Zaynukov, otherwise known as Wild Chanco, otherwise known as John Pork Brother. You know, we're not going to call him John Pork Brother because he is Chanco on this channel, guys. This is the most promising prospect I've ever seen coming out Dana White Contender Series, guys. Like, when I tell you guys, output on the 1,000, broke the significant strike record for lightweight history. If that was a UFC fight, in a single debut performance in Dana White Contender Series, he showed resilience, endurance, volume, durability. He showed it all. This guy's a future champion, and it's obvious. And to prove he's a future champion, we're putting him through the top 15 gauntlet, guys. In this video, I'm be going through the top 15 ranked lightweights in the world. UFC's the pinnacle. These are where the best. This is not no PFL game. This ain't no Dana White. This is the best in the world. And I'm going to be telling you guys what I think happens when he goes against his top 15. Spoiler alert, guys. Mama, this guy is good, you know. And this is not just, dude, can you glazing another Dagestani? That has nothing to do with glazing, everything to do with, like, if you actually watched that fight and saw his performance, you're impressed. I actually want to talk about, after the first round, I was like, guys, this guy started way too strong. He started that first round, he was blasting those low kicks after every single time. He threw everything with 100% force. Like, I was like, dude, you're going to boost Magomed off max. You're going to fatigue the second round. He throws like 70, 80 significant strikes. Second round starts, he throws like 70 significant strikes again. I'm like, hold on. Is this guy normal? Then third round starts, I'm like, surely he's going to show something. You know, I've seen my boys like Fareed Basharat like have a great first two, and then he slows down the third. No. Zaynukov did not slow down in that third round. He had the craziest performance ever. This guy's a problem. Yes, he went through adversity. He got caught, but all he showed after that was, I can get caught rocked by someone with 100% finish rate with crazy one-punch power. That guy fought never got out the first 6 minutes of a fight, you know, because he touches people, they're gone. He touched Zaynukov flush, he eats it, he comes back. This guy's everything you could ask for and more. So let's stop stalling. I'm not even stalling. Let's stop stalling and stop glazing, and let's just get into the morally okayed glaze, because we're gonna actually break down what happens if he goes against his top 15. Starting with the number 15 ranked, guys, we got Ruffy, who's coming off a fraud check against BSD. Now, what does Zaynukov show us? First round, good endurance. Second round, great endurance. Third round, even better. What did Ruffy show us for the first time? You clinch me a little bit or anything, brother, I have no gas tank by the second round. Not let alone second round, the first round. After the first 3 minutes of you holding me, I got nothing left. That's the problem. Like, you've seen Ruffy when he first started his career, he's like finishing people quickly. Even in Dana White Contender Series, he looks great because he's not getting proven. This is what happens when you're not proven in the UFC. You go in there and then you go against a BSD who has about 5-minute endurance too, who's not all that great. Then you get fraud checked by him because you don't have endurance in general. We saw Zaynukov get tested. Zaynukov by second round KO against Marcio Ruffy, who's a great striker as well, but there's levels to the striking. Ruffy's a little bit more flashy, where I feel like Zaynukov is more reactive. He stands his base and he sits down in his punches and kicks a lot better. I think they might go tit for tat, quote unquote, but I don't think Ruffy has the endurance to go tit for tat for a 2-time world Muay Thai champion, brother. No way. You're just not. He's going to eventually fold. The leg is going to fold him. You know, the frame. Zaynukov also has like nasty. He grabs the leg, then trips. He's just a well-rounded fighter, and he schools Ruffy, and he does in the first round, guys. So he passes the first test of the gauntlet. Let's go on to the number 14 ranked. You know, unironically, guys, there's one question mark you can't say, and the question mark is his wrestling, Kenny. His wrestling. And of course, we've seen his offensive wrestling at display a little bit there. He has great trips. He had good control. At full guard, he was landing some mean ground and pound, mean elbows. So he knows he's good at offensive wrestling. We don't know defensive wrestling. Of course, that's something, of course, his training partner is Islam Makhachev. And Islam Makhachev has actually said things when it comes to talking about Zaynukov. And he said initially he was but this guy is stuffing Islam's takedowns and making stuff hard for Islam and piecing up Islam on the feet.
He's a 2 times world Muay Thai professional champion. He has very good striking. Yeah. And I also give him advice when he was come first day. Mm-hmm. No, he just goes like this. You know, he don't understand what to do. Like, you know. But right now, it's he give me a very hard time.
Gotcha.
He defends wrestling, and in the striking is like high level fighter.
Now, if Islam's saying that, I start to understand, okay, this guy's a problem. Now, Grant Dawson, you got chinned by Bobby Green. Mama. Bro, chinned by Bobby Green, it's just in the way his head's built, like he has that widow's peak. Nah, bro, you are not touching my Zaynukov. Bro said, I said my Zaynukov. You heard me, brother. My wild Chanco, Blanco, Queso Blanco. Yeah. He's not gonna hang with he's not gonna hang with Chanco. I got Chanco. I got him finishing Grant Dawson. I'll be real. The guy in Dana White Contender Series was durable. I seen you get colded by Bobby Green. You have no chance against my Chanco de Blanco Flanco. So you're not beating him. Let's go to the next guy. Benoit Saint Denis. Yeah, you fraud checked the one guy who gets wrestled for the first time, shows zero cardio. We know Zaynukov has cardio. We know he doesn't just wrestle with any of the bum wrestlers in the UFC. He wrestles with someone named Islam Makhachev. Pound for pound number one in a lot of people's mind. One of the best fighters of all time. One of the greatest of all time. And what's Islam's primary weapon? His grappling. So I know he goes against Islam Makhachev caliber opponents in training. So I'm going to look at Benoit Saint Denis. I'm not going to look at him as like a crazy threat. Oh, well, Benoit Saint Denis is the best grappler ever. Benoit Saint Denis' grappling is not really all that. It just shows that Ruffy had no wrestling and Ruffy doesn't train with Dagestanis and he's not, 2-3 years Dagestanis forget. So he's not going to be able to hang with them. Of course, I look at someone like Zaynukov and I know he's built for that. I know he's not going to fatigue and I know he's going to go in there. He's going to piece up someone like Benoit Saint Denis. This is one of the easiest fights ever. This is going to be a really quick fight. I don't know if Benoit Saint Denis lasts 3 minutes. I'll be impressed. His Marauder style has no success and he actually fatigued against Ruffy. Ruffy just couldn't capitalize on it. So we absolutely school Benoit Saint Denis. Get this aura merchant out of here. We're not aura merchants over here. We're aura and we got the skill to back it up. We're special. Moving on. What rank is Michael Chandler right now? Like number 12? What? That's 15, 14, 13, 12. Yeah, number 12 ranked, bro. You fell, haven't you? Fought for the title a couple times. Do I even milk this? Well, I don't know, guys. Michael Chandler, he's so explosive in that first round. Listen, Chandler can't do anything to him. Like, I don't know what Chandler... Maybe Chandler goes in there and has fights for, like, his 45-second endurance that he's known for. Then after 45 seconds, I think Zaynukov gets him out there really quickly, plays with him, does whatever he wants with him. This will be, like, probably illegal to set up. So... Already, he's smoking the first top 12 ranked people. Bring me in the number 11 ranked Renato Moicano. Oh my goodness, not Moicano, the guy who got pieced up on the feet by a sloppy Beneil Dariush who's so no great grappling, who's probably one of the worst people of all time. I'm starting to look at the lightweight division. I'm like shaking my head like this, bro. Like, what is this division? Like, Zaynukov not only beats him, but I do think he'll probably be put in the holding cell maybe 24 hours after the beating because it will be a little bit too one-sided. This is my opinion. I think Zaynukov schools him. I think Zaynukov goes in there and actually beats the hell out of Moicano. Like, this fight doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know who would ever try to book a fight like this. Yeah, please keep him away from a Moicano who's number 11 ranked in the UFC. How? Don't ask me. Moving on. Now we're a little bit talking business because Fiziev can strike really well. Great kicks, just like Zaynukov. And the guy Zaynukov went against as well, great kicks. He was training, they were like low kick for low kick. Fiziev sits down and strikes a lot more too, just like Zaynukov. But Zaynukov's volume and high output volume for that 3 rounds surprised me to the point where I know he's going to be problematic with Fiziev. Fiziev started off well against Gaethje, then he slowed down and Gaethje's pressure and volume got to him. That's not going to be good for Fiziev against Zaynukov. I do think that's going to be a really big problem. Fiziev slowing down. He looked good against Bahamondes, but it looked like Bahamondes kind of froze up and wasn't throwing output. Bahamondes' lack of output was what lost him the fight against Fiziev. I don't think Zaynukov is going to have a lack of output problem, so I think it's going to be a really hard fight for Fiziev where he's going to be outmatched against a Zaynukov. I feel like skill for skill, I do think Zaynukov is the better striker, more reactive, better boxer, and he has more power behind the punches. I do think Fiziev has a good chin, just like that guy he went against in Dana White Contender Series, but I don't think he's going to weather the storm enough. But I do probably say Zaynukov by points, probably 30-27, because I know Zaynukov's going to outvolume him in the first round, and he's not going to slow down, whereas Fiziev has shown us that he is susceptible to slowing down, which is not going to be good for him. Give me Zaynukov by KO or points, but I do think Fiziev's tough enough to last and go through points. So next up, Beneil Dariush. Why is he ranked so? Is he in the top 10, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10? Okay, number 9. He's number 9. Jesus. Beneil Dariush is number 9 ranked. Okay. Well, that's a nervous gulp for my boy, my God-fearing brother, my Jesus Christ supporter, Beneil Dariush. This guy, I like him, respectful, but respectfully, you almost got chinned by Moicano in one round. Good night in one round, brother. Keep up the faith, though, brother. But you're getting slept very quickly. I'm going to go Zaynukov by KO in the first 3 minutes. Zaynukov had a really good finishing rate in the first round until he went against that durable guy. Dariush is not that durable, a little bit younger, a little bit older, not younger, so it'd be easy finish for this guy. Next up, the number 8 ranked Gamrot, who's going against Charles Oliveira. You guys know I already have Charles beating him, but if he beats Charles, that'd be cool too. But you know, what did Dan Hooker show me? You could stuff the takedowns and make the fight competitive. I think Dan Hooker lost that fight, but I know Zaynukov is over here with Islam Makhachev, who's great at wrestling. But like I said, this is the biggest question mark for me. But I know that Gamrot, who like was getting clipped by RDA on the feet, dropped by Beneil Dariush on the feet and hurt, you know, destroyed by Armin on the feet when they were striking, you know, Hooker having the better moments on him on the feet. When Zaynukov's stuffing your takedown, just like it's why Islam said, this guy gives me the most trouble in training. Like this guy in training, he make me struggle. He's saying it for a good reason. I feel like he understands that Zaynukov probably stuffs his takedowns and gives him hell. I see him doing the same thing against the gamer. Gamrot's tough, he's durable, he's cool, but he doesn't have a fighting chance against Zaynukov once he starts stuffing the takedowns and that endurance starts to play in for Zaynukov and that high output and high volume starts to overall Gamrot. Moving on from this, because I do think Zaynukov wins. I'll probably say by KO points. We'll see how tough Gamrot is when he's getting hurt by people who hit harder than Beneil Dariush. Next up, the number 7, I believe, ranked Paddy Pimblett. Notorious for having his chin in the air, chin on the platter, susceptible to leg kicks. His grappling is not all that great. Offensive wrestling pretty mid. Only time his offensive wrestling looked good was against the gassed Michael Chandler. Let's be real, Islam's struggling to take us down. You're not taking us down. This might be the easiest fight for like a high ranked opponent because everyone looks at Paddy like some kind of crazy guy. He's next against Ilya, probably is. He's going to get chinned against Ilya, but he gets schooled. Like, he gets absolutely schooled by Zaynukov, worse than Jared Gordon beat Paddy Pimblett. If you haven't watched that fight, real bad, man. Go watch that. And Jared Gordon is scrappy, too, of course, but Zaynukov is a different, like, he literally beats the crap out of, like, oh my God, this guy's number 7 ranked. I can't believe what I'm watching, that Paddy Pimblett's number 7 ranked with his chin in the air that high. If Zaynukov doesn't knock him out, I'll be very embarrassed for Zaynukov. If you think to knock him out or like 30-27 him, but I would be very surprised if this Scouser doesn't get knocked out. He will get knocked out by Zaynukov, 100%. Chin way too high. All right, next up, give me the number 6 ranked Dan Hooker, Dan the Hangman Hooker. Hooker's tough, you know, coming off a win against Gamrot. Didn't beat Gamrot. His striking is all right. He's like a kickboxer too. He's gonna try to go like kickboxing for Zaynukov, which just won't work to his advantage. Zaynukov is world class, 2-time world champion in Muay Thai. He's like a different level. He throws everything with 100% force. You know, Dan Hooker has shown durability. Dan Hooker does get fatigued, but he still throws. It's just a lot sloppy. When Zaynukov's fatigued, he's throwing and it's not sloppy. It's like more like it's still precise, everything precise and accurate and powerful. Hooker's sloppy volume, trying to get his punches off by the later rounds, is not going to work against Zaynukov. Zaynukov has shown that he could take people down easily and control them on the ground. Dan Hooker has got taken down like this by his training partner Islam and submitted in 2 seconds. Zaynukov will do whatever he wants to Dan Hooker. It'll be a harder fight because Hooker's not going to go anywhere, but Zaynukov has been hit by people who hit harder with better finishing rates than Dan Hooker, and he survived that, weather that storm. He'll beat Dan Hooker pretty comfortably, and this is a really good fight for him. I actually hope somewhere down the road this gets booked. So he beats the number 6 ranked Dan Hooker, which brings me to the number 5 ranked Justin Gaethje. Gaethje is crazy. Heavy low kicks as well. I'm sure they're gonna go low kick for low kick. Gaethje throws everything into that low kick, man. And like, he's a lot more off balance than Zaynukov. Zaynukov is a lot more Muay Thai base. Like, he stands his base really well. He throws everything with so much good force, and like, he's just a lot better in some instances. I feel like than Zaynukov in the than Zaynukov is, because Zaynukov is better than Justin Gaethje in these elements because he's a lot more precise and accurate and powerful. Justin Gaethje actually definitely see him shooting takedowns and failing because I feel like he starts getting pieced up on the feet. Gaethje's the highlight, but he's entertaining. Even his last fight, guys, like, it impressed me because he kind of bit down his mouthpiece and outworked Fiziev, but he was very sloppy, and he just outworked a sloppy Fiziev who's a little bit gassed after making his return after like 2-3 years off. So I don't think Zaynukov's going to gas against Gaethje after having a high output first round. So you're going to beat Gaethje in the first, second, and third. I don't see Gaethje beating Zaynukov. My boy Chanco, he wild a little bit, crazy John Pork physique, strong, good look. You know, this guy beat him comfortably. Moving on. We got the number 4 ranked Charles Oliveira, who's probably going to beat Gamrot this weekend. Oliveira is interesting because I know Oliveira's going to try to wrestle. I can see Chanco hitting him with a little hitting him with the fucking the Ilya Topuria counter judo throw. Probably getting back to the feet, just forcing Charles to stand. Charles' takedown entries aren't the best. He's not bad at scoring, but like against someone like Chanco, whose training partner is Islam, who's been there against like the best in the grappling, I'm sure he's going to be ready for Charles Oliveira's wrestling. Oliveira is dangerous, and I'm sure that even if Chanco trips him, he's not going to really try to engage on the ground with him. Oliveira is very reckless on the feet, and this is where the problem is going to present itself against Chanco. Chanco's a really good counterpuncher. I'm telling you guys how reactive he is in that counterpunching. The way he slips back and comes back, he's like Islam. My God, we literally saw this already. Islam, the way he got out the way and like countered Charles and put him on the ground, he's like Islam with that sense, but he pulls back less than Islam and he stands in space more. His feet's always planted and he swings with everything into that. Even when Islam dropped Charles, Islam doesn't throw with intent. He doesn't sit down in his punches, but he caught Charles in a bad position, put him down. Chanco does the same thing. Charles will overextend with this absurd forward pressure. Like he thought he could do that against Ilya. Like a good striker, you can't just run against them, dude, and use that same pressure style or you're going to get chinned. He makes the same mistake he makes against Ilya or in Islam and tries to walk down a good counter striker and gets floored. He gets floored, unfortunately, and then that's it. And that's all she wrote. I think he gets knocked out cold, similar to what Ilya Topuria did to him. This guy, Chanco's a really good power puncher, man, and counter puncher. I think he does it. People are going to say I'm glazing this video, but I'm just being very objective, I'm being objective, All right, but outside of the number 4 guy, we got Max Holloway, the number 3 guy. This is going to be a cool fight because Max, people keep comparing Max to him because his volume. The only difference between the volume with Max and volume with Chanco throws first and throws last. Like he'll throw the low kick first, he'll throw back, he'll check it and then blast you with it. I always said this about Max Holloway. He likes getting hit, but he likes to overwhelm you with volume. He does have more power at 155. I will give him credit there. This is the problem though. Max Holloway's biggest weakness, in my opinion, that people don't exploit as much as they should is the low kicks. Max Holloway's in his chicken legs. There's a reason he made 145, guys. It was because his ability to cut weight because he has chicken legs, right? If Chanco's sitting down on these kicks, bro, he takes away those skinny little bit legs of Max Holloway, the fight's over. And that's Max Holloway's whole game plan. He has to use movement and try to land his 1-2s and get in and out. And he wants to overwhelm you with that pressure, but it all comes from his footwork and his movement. If Chanco takes away his legs with these low kicks that he will be blasting, that's when the problem will start to commence. And that's when I think he's going to start to pull away from Max. And it doesn't matter how long this fight is, because I know Chanco can do this for a long period of time. There's a significant difference in their striking. Max Holloway's an MMA striker in the sense that he'll overwhelm you with MMA boxing. It's not even that crisp of like regular boxing. It's more like this volume. Chanco's more precise with volume, with more power behind it, and he sits down and things a lot better than Max. That's where I feel like there's going to be a skill difference. As far as striking, you can't really compare their credentials. Like he's way better than Max Holloway in striking credentials. Unless Max shows me something different, starts to wrestle or something, which I don't think is even going to help him there, you can't compare the credentials. But Kenny, MMA boxing's better than world class Muay Thai. It's not. It's not. Like it's just not. Like you could try to gaslight yourself. That's the case. Max Holloway takes too much damage. He gets hit too much. He's not hard to hit per se. He's not hard to like absorb. He absorbs stuff well, but he's just not hard to hit. And like I feel like Chanco packs crazy power, and Max doesn't want to run into that. Max did school Dustin like I predicted he would. I never picked the Max fight wrong. I predicted he would school him. But even then, Dustin Poirier at his age was showing power enough to drop and hurt Max Holloway. Chanco's going to get this guy. I think Chanco by KO points. If Max could last long, I'll be surprised. But I do think Chanco's experience in the striking, in his power, and the way he sits down his punches, and the way he's going to break his legs up to like kind of negate that offensive volume that comes from Max Holloway's boxing. I think Zaynukov, the wild Chanco pieces him up. Moving on to a really hard fight, guys, because now we're getting to the last two. This one's really hard, guys. The Arman Tsarukyan. Why the hell do they have his nickname Alkaletz? Alkaletz. Who the hell calls him that? I don't think anyone's ever called Arman Alkaletz Tsarukyan. Shebide. Number 2 in the light heavyweight division. Number 14 pound for pound. Great wrestling. Now, I know he trains with Islam, but this guy's great wrestling as well. And great striking. This fight, I really couldn't tell you a confirmed winner right now. As far as I understand that Chanco trains with Islam, but I got to see how Arman does against Dan, because the Arman should get rid of Dan. Arman just hasn't been fighting. He's been doing a lot of grappling matches, so I'm sure his game plan against Chanco is going to be just to grapple. Like, and I don't know how good Chanco's grappling is. Like right now, it's hard to say who wins. I know on the feet, of course, the better striker is going to be Chanco, but Arman has pretty good striking. Like, he has pretty good striking himself, and he does have that really good wrestling that other lightweights don't possess that I kind of went over. Like, Gamrot has the same kind of wrestling as him, but I know Gamrot's been dropped by multiple people in his striking. It's not like Armin Tsarukyan caliber. This fight's close right now. I will probably say I'll give the advantage to Armin Tsarukyan. The reason I will say this is because I know Armin's a little bit more proven, and we'll see how he does against Hooker, but like Chanco, I want to see him a little bit more. Everyone else, it sounds crazy, but I do believe from what I already saw from Chanco, I know he could beat these guys. This is where I start to draw the line. I think Armin Tsarukyan's a little bit more proven right now in like other departments, because I know Armin can strike, and I know Armin can wrestle really well. That's the problem. If you're just like Max Holloway can only strike, but you're wrestling, like if Armin's getting tagged up on the feet, he could wrestle. If Max is, he can't. If Hooker is, he can't. If Paddy is, he really can't wrestle. I know Armin Tsarukyan can. That's why I'm going to say Armin Tsarukyan. I give him the slight advantage right now. But time will have to tell. But right now, I will side with my boy Armin Tsarukyan. Last but not least, Ilia Topuria. 17-0, UFC champion, #1 pound for pound right now. How did you do against Chanco? Stylistically, this might be a little bit easier than Armin. I don't know. Listen, Chanco has shown that he can get hit and dropped and come back. Same with Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria has shown he can get hit, dropped, and come back. Did it against Jai Herbert, who's not nearly as crisp as a kickboxing style as Chanco, but he still has some good kicks. The kicking style of Chanco was going to give Ilia Topuria a lot of problems. I know this. The low kicks are going to give him problems. The head kicks that he's going to blow into, his boxing is a lot better than anyone Ilia Topuria's went against. These are the best strikers in the division going against each other. But, of course, both guys have some wrestling to their degree. Chanco's wrestling is obviously not going to be as profound. I mean, Ilia's wrestling's not all that from what we've seen, but we know he could wrestle, We've seen Ilia get taken down and controlled, though, by Bryce Mitchell for a little bit, And I feel like Ilia's ego is not to make him shoot first. Stylistically, this might actually be easier than Armin, because I feel like Ilia might be more willing to just trade with Chanco because he feels like he's going to catch him eventually. But Chanco has a really good push kick. Guys, I've never seen anyone push kick Ilia. Do you know how frustrating for a boxer it is going to be just to push kick you backwards, constantly push kick you, push. They keep coming for push. That's what he does. He's like Sean Strickland with it. Ay, Shiba. I don't like saying he's like Sean Strickland, because that makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Makes me want to throw up in my mouth, because I don't like comparing him to Sean Strickland. But he has a really strong teep, and he just mixes up his targets really well. It's a hard fight for Ilia, especially if Ilia wants to just go strike for strike. It could be problematic. It's a 50-50 fight, because anyone can knock out anyone. But if it goes to points like that, Ilia Topuria cannot beat Zanko. I saw Volkanovski was on the way to outpoint Ilia. He really wasn't, because he was going to get caught eventually because the habit he has of leaning back. Zanko leans back, but he sits down and he finds angles. Volk just leans back to lean back. So that's where there's a little bit of a divide. But if they want to go strike for strike, this fight's a 50-50 fight. If Ilia can mix it up and actually score on Zanko, that's going to get interesting. Right now, who wins? I don't know. 50-50. I'll probably lean Ilia. Life on the line, but life not on the line. So we're going to end with 50-50. The only guy I can really see beat him is probably Armin, if anyone. But then again, I don't know, guys. I want you guys to understand, this guy right here we're looking at, guys, we're on the cusp of something great. And understand I called this first. Understand no one's saying this. Understand his record in MMA, UFC right now is 1-0. Understand he's like, 8-0 in general. Understand he's never lost, but understand his credentials. Understand his training partners. Understand this guy's skill, guys. Magomed Zaynukov, the Wild Chanco, John Pork, whether you like or you don't like, he's here to stay, and he's looking really good, guys. I think he clears all of, if not damn near all, the lightweights in the UFC today. But let me know what you guys think down below. That's it for me. Say goodbye to my little friend over there. God bless. 2, 3, 4.